Doo-ba-doo-ba-doo-doo-doo. The what?
Guys, or you got the guys?
I haven't got him yet. You both just showed up online though. It's a Josh.
I told you.
Hey. What up?
Yeah.
Better? Or now you're mad and you're just not going to give me any audio.
Ooh, Jeremy, you're kind of red.
Now you're mad and you're not even going to give me audio.
Should we call you back?
Maybe if you want.
Well, seem fine here, Josh.
Hey, hey, Bobby McGee. Na 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 na.
Jeremy, you getting audio yet?
Back in a minute.
I got to know.
So what's planned for tonight? Are we gonna do just regular? I mean, we don't have much on the site, do we?
No.
There
Should we just do Q&A time?
Well, we got a shit ton of news items.
Well, yeah, we do have like a lot of
Oh,
stuff.
okay.
Kind of.
Well, it's up to you.
Yeah, I mean, we actually do have a show.
Oh.
Sure.
Really big show.
Oh, sure.
Oh, show.
So bad. Yeah, forgot to change my shirt.
Josh, you spun up on this Ampere EMAG thing.
What?
This Ampere EMAG.
No.
No.
Let me take a look. See.
There was some ARM stuff, and what did we figure out the pronunciation of this? Silex?
Ubachaka?
Ooga chaka, ooga chaka. Ah, I'm gonna feel it. 3 Cortex M. ARM 16, 32 core EMAG processors. Custom CPU cores. 3 to 3.3.
It's not bad for an ARM processor.
Huh?
I just see like a lightning flash.
Yeah, I can talk about that. It's not a big deal, but
I saw something flash.
Oh,
Didn't see
nice.
any smoke, though.
This laptop needs a mouse. This bottom thing not a link?
What thing?
Did it not come over as a link?
I don't know. It's underlined like a link, but if I click on it, I don't get
Can't grab the bottle.
the O in the notes. Link? That's weird. If I hit link, it doesn't show that there is a link, but
Which one?
phone conduction headphones.
It's underlined.
The underline's a lie.
Cake is a lie.
Wait, I've gone too far here.
Oh, I know what it is.
What is it?
Managed to put links in the bullets. Screws up the fun.
Oh,
the
oh,
formatting.
it made the bullets themselves a link?
Yeah. See how C, D in them are black and the rest are blue?
The links aren't links, or the
They aren't, but it's because the formatting's fucked up again.
Very interesting.
it does that.
Trying to
Okay,
grab
now.
the bottle, Jason.
Podcat, phone condition. Okay.
Not the Crown Royal, the one beside it.
I guess I'm going this way, and then I'll start over from the beginning.
This one? This one.
That one.
Creme de Cafe. Had some of my coffee earlier. It was quite good. Made in Mexico. Oh,
so
sticky.
Mix tequila with it as opposed to vodka, right? Don't do that.
I don't know. There's no there's no ingredient list here. Then right next to that we have the rubbing alcohol.
Mmm.
I mean, it is the alcohol cart. And for when you just want to get drunk, the
There we are.
Kirkland vodka. American vodka.
Which totally hasn't been replaced by rubbing alcohol by Ken.
It's been distilled 6 times. I'm not sure if that's a good thing or not.
Yeah, it means I couldn't get it right the first 5.
No Bacardi 151. Got some barrel cast knob.
Ooh, okay. Pass that one.
Oh, this is regular stuff.
Fine.
Oh, that's regular stuff too. Yeah. RX bar must be the new AMD interconnect.
I was really tempted to edit it to RTX bar, but then I realized we wouldn't be able to get it yet.
All right, so I've got that. I do not have a chat open, so I hope someone else is. Oh yeah, I gotta find that stupid pick of the week that I wanted to do.
Now you have to choose the pick of the week you didn't want to do.
No, I know where to find it. I just couldn't find it last week.
It's weird to think that Janis Joplin is only 3 years younger than my parents. Well, I mean, she was 3 years
What?
younger.
Back up.
Sorry.
But now, of course, she's just
No, it's fine.
decomposing.
Wasn't her
Reese.
song, but she's Gust in the Wind.
Recently
Yeah.
played games. There we go.
The decomposing composers, there's less of them every year.
Is that the bloody game you were talking about?
Yeah.
About damn time.
Ooh.
Only took him a week.
Sorry.
That,
Well, I picked something else last week, didn't I?
It blows up purdy.
it does blow up pretty. Is that Windows only or is it cross-platform?
I don't know. Let's see.
Roll down.
The
Looking.
icon's at.
Looking.
Cross-platform,
Cross-platform multiplayer, even.
and it supports part of your controller. Not all of
Well,
it, but
what's
part.
the
You
But-
can do you can do almost everything in the game. Like when you're actually playing the game, you can use a controller because you could play the game with like arrow keys and WSD and stuff.
How else would you play it?
but that cross-platform could be console cross-platform.
I'm trying to find
Maybe.
it. I got it a Steam.
I don't know.
Because,
It's fun. It's especially multiplayer is fun.
like reasons like that. Stop showing me anime porn Steam. Like really.
Anyway,
Steam for all your porn needs.
Oh, if you're into cat ears and well
Do I have
endowed
to bear-
anime women, boy, are they pushing on to those games lately.
It's because women are dirty and icky, and this is clean and shiny.
we don't have a Ryan pick.
Unlike their pillow.
No Ryan pick because
Well,
Ryan's
it's
not here.
shiny. Might not be clean.
He's such a loser.
Now, what was the game?
Perfect.
What was the game that one was like?
The newest Windows feature update is here. It's ready to install. Pick a
Oh.
time,
Mhm.
snooze, or
Yeah.
restart now.
My PC's been kind of nagging me about that too lately.
Oh, you go to sleep
Yeah.
permanently. It does support Ubuntu 10.10 and above, Alex.
Sweet. I
And
know.
SteamOS if you're weird.
There's a difference between Ubuntu
Well,
and Steam.
okay, that's
I mean, I'm pretty sure they're both. Steambox was based on Ubuntu, wasn't it?
I'm pretty sure it was. Most things are. They have lots of LTS branches.
Mm-hmm. Oh, so I had a fun one. I went over and updated my grandma's computer because it was, complaining because it was out of date. I thought it was running Ubuntu 14. No, it was running Debian Old Stable, so I brought it up to latest greatest. And Firefox just lost everything. Just
Oh, lovely.
gone.
Nice.
Beautiful.
So now I'm standing up a VM with an old install I have of Debian trying to install like Firefox 48 or something. Trying to get at least the bookmarks out of it because I'm an idiot who didn't do a full backup of the bookmarks folder first.
Well, in your defense, you don't expect the bookmarks to go away when you update the OS.
Right?
Yeah.
Right?
They're on the cloud, aren't they?
Yeah, I'll be right back. My kid just came back. He had gone into a urgent care with a finger injury. So talk amongst yourselves. I'll be right back.
Let us know how many fingers, please.
This is the part where we begin talking about Josh's children behind his back.
Shit, I could have sworn I had some more Dino D-Days to give away. I guess I found some lunatic to take them. That's like the best game that we play on the Fragging Frogs VLAN.
Alex,
Because believe it or not, there
Oh,
are people
sorry.
out there that take the game seriously.
is that Strix by chance, like over there? Is it just sitting over there? I don't know if we should have it out. Strix 2080 Ti.
Wow, that's an old card, isn't it?
Excuse me?
Says
the
the guy
Strix?
running a Strix 1080. They're damn good cards. I like this thing.
If it's not a fucking behemoth, then it's not the right card. Saying. It's probably over there on Ken's, the other wall. Probably back. Uh-huh, see? He's like looking
They're
for it.
joining the Mile High Club buyout.
He's looking for it, and then he's like, oh, dear God. Oh, are you grabbing the old one just for perspective? Yeah. Yeah. Uh-huh. And he's like leaning sideways and shit. So there's the old one.
Oh, is that a 1080 and a
Yep, there's the-
2080?
It's a 1080 Ti and a 2080 Ti, right?
Okay.
I think.
See that? You can't even see
Because you asked for the 1080. I'm
Oh,
like, well,
yeah, it's not on the camera. But I'll what, you gonna oh. I don't know if we need to zoom out for the whole thing just for
all digits accounted for?
He's got all 10 still.
Yay.
Yay. Now Alex is running away.
Well, Alex was bringing over the
Run away! Run away!
Alex is bringing over the damn Jesus.
Holy crow.
Yeah, it's man.
That's monstrous. Don't drop it.
Yeah. It's kind of hard. Like not to.
Large hunk
It's
of metal.
rather large. Where's the oh? Well, they did manage to. I guess the PCB is bigger.
Do we got a reference one?
Oh no, because there's not like a. Yeah, I don't think the reference PCB is this high. I think they made the PCB higher because you don't have to remove a section of the shroud to do the SLI.
We got a Strix 500 series sitting over there too, if you want it.
Nah, we don't need the table to collapse. It's like the last piece of tinsel on the Christmas tree. All right.
I don't know what to do for a pick. It's just coming up blank here.
Well, you got the whole show to figure it out.
It's like 15 minutes.
And it's a bunch of news posts, so pretty much Jeremy's going to be talking the whole show. So, you know.
Sweet.
Ah.
Put him on the spot.
They were just gonna drop. And for the next story, Jeremy.
Yeah, we'll just auto
Things.
things.
And back to you. Oh.
Yep. Next up. Next story, Jeremy.
And that's the news as I saw it. Back to you.
It's the little
We need like a Wiimote so I can pretend I'm playing.
things.
Pretend I'm lazily playing Wii tennis on the couch.
I
Just
somehow
flicking my wrist.
I don't think vMix is gonna support the
The rate of switching.
Joy-Con inputs that way.
Dang it.
All right, we need Ken back to program that in.
That's totally a doable thing.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Totally make that like, switch back to Jeremy. Switch back to Jeremy. Anyway,
It's the little things, right?
that is.
Anywho.
We're already ready already?
How come there's so many damn SSD deals? I mean, really good deals.
I'm not
Complaining?
sure because there was a bunch of, I resisted the urge to post a bunch of stuff about it, but people were all like, oh, impending doom and like prices are going to go up and Flash Media specifically, and not even talking about the tariff thing. I mean, it is possible they might go up due to the tariff thing.
That was last year. Then they kind of oversupplied and overcharged, and
Well-
now demand's been dropping, and they're
Well, right.
wondering what the hell to do.
But we still potentially have a tariff thing
Oh,
for
right.
computer hardware generally, not just SSDs, right? But at least in the US. Maybe Jeremy doesn't have to worry about it.
Jeremy
Yeah,
has to worry
question
about a
about that.
lot of things.
Mhm.
Lots.
Okay.
Yeah. Like the new Yanks, Mexico, and Canada deal.
We're ready to light this dumpster on fire?
It's already burning.
Burn, baby,
So
burn.
how come Tweedledee and Tweedledum are delayed?
Because of Tweedledum Airline.
Sweet.
Tweedledummer Airline, I guess. They knew it early in the day, too, which I thought was comical. At least they'll let you know ahead of time that you're going to be late trying to get where you're going.
Come fly the dumb skies.
Yeah, we see a few hours from now like that. There's no way that plane's going to be there. Sorry, guys.
What are they doing? Flying to Calgary or something?
I don't even know where they are. Spooning
That
in a
airport's a
hotel
little
somewhere.
upset. They got the better part of 2 feet of snow yesterday.
Oh, lovely. Okay. I think so.
Beer.
Beer.
I'm just going to randomly say beer throughout the podcast because that appears to be the cool thing to do.
I like
I
beer.
like beer.
I like beer.
I like beer.
I like beer.
Can you be both screaming and crying while you do it, though, Josh?
Do you like beer?
You'd
Just
be
like,
amazed what I can do when it comes to beer.
just like
True.
I went to Yale.
Yeah, that's just freaking lost it.
I played basketball.
Oh man,
Oh.
the guy's making himself into a meme rapidly.
It's like when Data first got his motion chip installed, and he just didn't know what to do with them because he never felt them before.
Yeah, it's a good comparison.
Didn't he have some motion chip put in his finger or something?
No, one in his head.
What was his head?
Yeah.
And then it fused there.
Yep.
And he couldn't control his emotions and he became a coward
Mhm.
until Jean-Luc gave him the pep talk.
Yeah.
EMRC.
That should be my pick actually, but podcast as a pick is not necessarily a good pick. Star Trek: The Next Conversation podcast.
I have not heard of
Holy
this.
shit, it's amazing. They're already on season 3. They've been going episode by episode. Show usually goes like 2 hours.
Oh God,
That's amazing.
Yeah, and they go into all sorts. They had Frakes call in on a couple of them already.
It is a little desperate for work.
Like when they had something coming up, they know they're like, man, we really need to know the real answer for this particular thing. Like, and one of them somehow swindled his way. Like they're two writers from the just one of those comedy shows. I forget which comedy show it was, but they're like 2 of the staff, like writers for that show, and they do a podcast.
Nice.
So there's all sorts of like inside baseball stuff, and they always like get the script for the show. And they're like referencing, and if there's some scene that ended weird, like they actually go back to the script and they see, like, hey, what was supposed to happen here? And they find that there was like this whole thing that was like cut out. I was like, oh, that would have made a lot more sense if they did it that way. You know, it's pretty cool. Anyway, let's do a show.
So did they ever say, so Jonathan, you remember that time when you're on the bridge and the red alert went off and you yelled battle stations?
Yeah, and Frakes would be like,
Yeah.
Frakes would be like, how the hell do you expect me to remember that?
That's pretty
Basically.
cool, huh?
No, they try not to be fanboyish like
What
that
was
when
it?
they
Yeah,
get the
what
guy
was
on.
that? It was some kind of skit where it's like they talk to somebody from. Do you remember that time?
Wasn't it
the
like
show?
wasn't it like Shatner? Like a
Yep,
comedy
it
thing
might
where
have
they
been.
actually had
That's pretty
Shatner
cool, huh?
like being at a convention, supposedly.
Well, no, that was when he was yelling "Get a life."
Oh yeah.
This was a
Yeah,
different
that
one
happened.
where they just talked about how isn't that cool?
Yeah, but it's
I
just
can't remember.
it's a really it's
Yeah,
pretty
I thought it was Chris Farley. North Ranger said. Anyway, it was a
Yeah.
skit with him.
yeah. It was like a SNL skit.
Yep.
I remember something like that. I'm sure it's a
I
thing.
remember when SNL was funny.
It occasionally
Maybe.
is. I don't know. It's hit or miss lately.
Yeah, it's always been hit or miss.
Yeah,
You just remember the good parts.
Yeah.
For decades.
the good ones are the ones that just keep repeating and showing up again in people's feeds and stuff. Anyway, let's do a show. Ready? 3, 2. Hey everybody, welcome to the PC Perspective podcast. This is episode number 516, being recorded episode. Yeah, October 3rd, 2018. I'm Alan Malventano.
I'm Jeremy Hellstrom.
I'm Pale Josh Walrath.
And then there's an Alex, like He's hiding. He's over there. He might contribute. We'll see. Because we're missing a Ryan and a Ken. They're delayed on flights back from somewhere. I don't know. They're somewhere. They're not here yet. Maybe they'll show up in the middle of the podcast. I don't know. Stranger things have happened. All right, let's get through the pre-starting show warm-up minutia, I guess. PCPer.com/podcast. It's where you can find the show notes and a bunch of other helpful links. Twitter.com/PCPer or Twitter.com/Ryan Shrout, where you can ask Ryan, like, where he is and why isn't he here right now? Anyway, PCPer.com/subscribe lets you subscribe to our mailing list, which I'm not sure if that went out today, but usually it does. We send out an email to let you know that we're about to record a show or do some other live streaming type event, which I think we're having some come up with, these new GPUs and stuff. We're probably going to talk to Tom at some point.
Mhm.
I would assume.
Yeah, I think it's coming later this month, but nothing confirmed.
Yeah. We're trying to get him out so we can talk stuff. Hopefully the, overclock stuff will be a little more worked out by then and out of alpha/beta status. So we can get some gory details out of him on that stuff. Anyway, patreon.com/PCPer. It's where you can kick us some coin and help us keep the lights on, basically. Did we do a mailbag?
I did not see one published. And I think the gang's been out all week, so
Okay.
Hackers.
Well, we
Yeah.
normally do
That's
a
weird.
mailbag. That's
They didn't even ask me to do it.
yeah. I don't know what happened.
Huh.
Hmm.
Because we tried to do it the week before, but then Jim got something going on and the questions didn't show up until like late Friday
Oh,
night, and
you know
my
what?
weekend was then shot, and
Yeah,
was bad.
that's what happened. Jim usually coordinates that for us, and he's been a little under the weather.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah. So
Yeah. he's not-
that's probably what happened that time. Not the norm for us, but we'll get back on track with those.
Yeah.
I almost want to say the Teespring link instead of the JoshTech.com link.
JoshTech.com.
Go to JoshTech2Ks.com. It will bring you to our PCPer merch store.
Second case is silent.
Yeah, the silent.
No, it ain't.
Silent second K. No. It's where you can get our merch. Cool stuff. We may need to add some stuff to this at some point. Figure out something to freshen up the merch store with. We're open
nice
for
mailbag.
I guess. Yeah, that's an idea. Okay. What else we got here?
I don't know. We got stuff.
We got stuff.
stuff to talk about.
We got stuff to talk about. Fragging Frogs coming up. Fragging Frogs 17th VLAN. 17 those annual, Jeremy?
They're when we have them because it is an amazing amount of work for Lenny, who puts all the work in behind the scenes to get these things going. And so, we do them as we can. This
All
one
right.
is a little bit off of our normal format in that we haven't really sought out any sponsors. So you're showing up for fun, which of course means that all the people who only showed up for prizes are not going to show up, which, I'm not totally upset about. Because, there's nothing like a grown man crying across TeamSpeak because he didn't win a processor.
October
Or a car.
13th. I will at least probably be creeping on the TeamSpeak. Even if I'm not playing stuff, I usually try to at least get on and chat with the folks on there for a while. And there's a couple of related threads talking about how it all works and what's gonna be played and things like that. So yeah, definitely check it out at the PCPer forum. Guess might as well just jump right into the reviews, huh?
Jump into it.
Jump in.
Jump on it.
So, which card is this? Okay, so we had the Asus Strix 1080 Ti. It was, pretty beefy 1080 Ti card. Ran pretty quiet. Ran relatively cool. Really good cooler on it compared to the power draw. And then
Oh no, use 2 hands, man.
Yeah. Then came something that was like another half of a slot thicker, basically. Man, that thing is like
Monstrous.
That thing's built like a tank. Sorry.
I think I still
the mic into
somewhere
it.
may have one of the triple slot Asus, like GTX 580.
Yeah. So
Is that right?
So what we're talking about is the Asus Strix RTX 2080 Ti, which is just it's a beast.
Can you buy this now?
I'm not sure actually. Ken wrote up the review of this guy. Actually, looked.
The answer to that is no.
Oh,
You can't find them anywhere.
No, sorry.
Even our very own Scott Michaud up in Canada, who pre-ordered, has not received anything.
Interesting.
I don't know
To say
anyone.
it may be more.
Huh.
I don't know anyone who has pre-ordered and actually gotten anything,
So
except reviewers.
one feature I like that I thought was a nice touch about this is they added a hey, you can just shut the LEDs, the RGBs off by hitting a button. In other words, like you don't have to install the software and go through all that, like the Asus specific software to control the lighting.
Please let this catch on.
Yeah, because I would imagine most people probably aren't using Asus's software. They're probably using like, Precision X or something like most other people are using, or I forget what's the other one?
You don't like the ROG Strix stuff?
I don't know. I've never used it. And
I've
I've even
been
had
using it.
Asus. I've even had Asus GPUs, and I'm still like, I don't know, force a habit. I'm
Yeah, fair
I'm
enough.
setting my ways. Get off my lawn. Anyway, big honking card, big honking cooler, dual 8-pin power connectors. Even though I don't think you can go much over the normal amount you can go over for the power limit. Either way, when you get these big honking coolers on these cards that can at most draw, I think it works out to around 300 watts. With everything maxed on whichever, regardless of the card and whether it comes a little bit overclocked from the factory and maybe even the power limit over 250, like the standard 250 a little bit from the factory. Usually like the max you're able to go works out to like the same number, regardless of who you get the card from. And what we found with most of these cards is, especially the ones with big honking cores like this, is that you're pretty much just riding the power limit. You're a comfortable margin away from where it would start to limit itself based on temperature. So you end up just riding the power limit. And so it's very much just, how good of a,
But what can it do with 1.22 gigawatts?
It can, travel back to 1950, whatever.
Wouldn't those graphics blow their minds?
Oh, absolutely. If they had anything to show them on. On their black and white tube. Anyway.
Integrated anti-aliasing.
Yeah. It's built in.
Yeah.
So as you can see right there, even like Unigine Heaven just running, temperatures going up to like a little bit over 60 C GPU temp. That's a nice, comfortable margin away from really.
I found these graphs really interesting. And correct me if I'm wrong here, but these are pretty consistent.
You're wrong.
Fine.
Sorry.
So there's this trend here. So you see the clock crank up real hard and fast.
Yeah, initially.
Initially for, 20, 60 seconds or so.
Uh-huh.
But then it backs off and goes steady. And then
remember, this is quiet mode.
Okay, so but it's still the trend still applies here. And then it settles off at a temperature, but the clock speed settles well before the temp saturates.
Yeah. It's just down to how NVIDIA's doing their tuning. Like how they, however they profile these things. But if you notice, overclocked, holy crap. Even once it settles down, it's still over 2 gigahertz. Steady. And considering this is a 2080 Ti, which has just a crap load of transistors, on the thing. Yeah, impressive. And there's compared to a Founders Edition, also did just about the same. So there you go. If you know, basically for your overclock, even with the big honking coolers, you're not necessarily going to get a lot more out of these cards, mainly due to riding the power limit. There's your overclock temperature. Obviously, the Founders Edition is running way closer to the point where it starts to throttle based on temperature. Somewhere around 80. I think on these it's a little more shy of 80 compared to like the 1080s, or just the 10 series cards. Anyway, let's see. So you can't get it. How much is the price premium over the other ones, assuming that you could get it?
It's what, $11.99 for the Founders Edition, so $50 above that.
Yeah, only $50 over for a card with arguably much better cooling, and that you could potentially run just quieter, doing the same thing as a Founders card. So if you're valuing that, right? If you
I don't value anything.
If you value the look of the card, if you value the RGBs, you say you already have an Asus motherboard, you're trying to match, you're trying to also do the synchronized RGB lighting between the motherboard and the GPU and things like that. Probably worth the extra coin, but the catch is if you can get the card.
You can't.
Which you can't for now.
Actually, you can. There are a couple of samples available on Amazon, but guess what the price is?
Oh, they jacked them up.
$2,400.
Oh, okay. So no.
So yeah, you probably shouldn't buy those.
I would recommend not buying those.
When you
I had to check on that today for my job because we want to buy one for, the tensor cores and all the other fun stuff that you can do professionally with those puppies. And it's like, no, there's nothing. I'm on auto notify on a bunch of stuff, and it's no.
Yeah.
NVIDIA hasn't done great with this, with the TI, but you can understand it. It's a huge chip. Who knows what kind of yields they're getting that are hitting the bins that they want. And, you got all kinds of other little farcical things going on with tariffs and fun stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still just using GDDR6, right?
Yep.
I think so, yeah.
Yeah. So you'd think they'd have enough supply, but who knows? But there's plenty of RTX 2080s, I think, right?
There were. I haven't looked in a bit.
Yeah, I think there still are. Anyone?
I think there's a lot of people that are maybe holding out in hopes that the TI is going to come down a little bit.
Oh, it's not going to come down anytime soon.
It's just, I agree with you guys. It's a shame, especially with the whole tariff thing potentially coming down the line, and I'm sure that's going to.
I don't think it's a 25. Jedi Master Allen says 25% uptick on these tariffs, and that's. I don't think it's going to be that high.
Yeah, I don't think it's that high either.
I mean, you're going to look at maybe 5%, from what I understand, which is still significant when you're paying $1,200.
Yeah,
but it's not 25%, so it's going to hurt a little.
I think it's.
But you know what? You just get a little. Never mind.
Gigabyte has one for $790.
What, the RTX 2080?
Yep. 2080 WindForce.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
Oh, it's not bad at all.
It's not decent. Everyone else is 840, 850. Oh, there's a TI for only $2,300. Oh, $2,200.
Yeah, people are just
coming
gouging.
down.
Anyway, if only we had more games that even took advantage of the extra features of that and made it so that people wouldn't just want to get a 1080 Ti instead. Basically, since it trades blows with 2080.
Yep.
So.
For what, half the price?
Well, I mean, if you're finding them, I mean, new ones are still like what, 6 something, right?
For the TIs?
New ones for because like the used ones are going for like 500.
Yeah.
I would imagine the new ones are at least 100 more. If you've got used ones going for 500.
694. Oh, for the Zotac amp, so it's
Is that a-
stupidly overclocked.
Is that a 1080 Ti?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like they're kind of holding, like 1080 Ti's are kind of holding their value, just because the 2080 is kind of priced high and matches it for like all practical purposes today, at least. You know, except for a bunch of games that have yet to be released. So anyway, are we doing the ad?
We'll go through 3 stores and hit the ad in the middle of them.
Oh, okay, cool.
Did you just say hit the at?
No, are we doing the ad?
Because I could hit the at, but
No,
it would only bounce off the armor because it's too thick.
No.
But you hit it.
All right, so let's go through some news.
But we're not going to go ad tipping.
No.
Oh, it's fun.
That was a product that never took off. The at racetrack had a catchy song though.
Mm-hmm.
Not going to sing
No?
it for
Oh
us.
my.
No.
At racetrack. Da-da-da-da. It's like a Saturday morning thing. Anyway. Go.
Okay. Lucky number 7 for AMD. What is so lucky for AMD here, Jeremy?
Well, you know, that process that Intel's having issues with and tossing money at?
Oh, you mean like the 7 well, is it 7 for
10.
Intel? What's the
That's
number?
10 for Intel.
Okay, 10, yeah.
AMD is still pretty much in line to hit the 7 nanometer for the next release of Ryzen.
Gosh,
And-
that's shocking. They've only had that on their roadmap for the past 2 years.
Also true.
Yes.
And on the GPUs as well.
Well, I hope
So,
they can. I hope they can actually hit it.
Well, I mean, the Epics are already confirmed to be.
Wow.
The Epic 2s are. It was this news was we didn't know that the Ryzen 3s were necessarily going to be. We kind of assumed that they were, which, you know, makes perfect sense. And now pretty much, you know, it's still a rumor, but it's pretty much confirmed that this is going to be what we're going to see. There'll definitely be a Ryzen 3 coming out, which, I mean, again, you sort of assume that's going to be the case.
Well,
but,
it's Zen 2,
or sorry, Zen 2, not Ryzen 3, Zen 2.
Okay.
No, Ryzen 3 is the low end Ryzen
Yes.
chips.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Zen 2 is the next generation of Zen. Right now we're on the Zen Plus on 12 nanometer, which we can go ad nauseum about what exactly 12 nanometer is. But yeah.
But all the leaks so
I
far
think
have been
the
Ryzen
big
7.
argument was it going to be TSMC 7 nanometer for the desktop stuff, or was it going to be Global Foundries? And of course, the answer to that is it's all going to be TSMC because Global Foundries pulled the handles on their 7 nanometer process and decided to stop sinking billions of dollars into developing it.
Okay.
So there you go.
So yeah, Ryzen 7s, Ryzen 5s, and Ryzen 3s will be coming out soon.
Yeah, but
And-
the 3000 series is
Sorry,
what
yes.
probably it's going to be called. But
Yes,
yeah,
prob-
that's going to be spring 2019.
Hmm.
'Cause they only just got them back a little bit ago. So we're
what,
looking spring, midsummer for the Ryzen 3000 series.
what is this supposed to do? Is it supposed to help them on performance necessarily, or just bring price down?
It's going to help on performance. It's going to make it denser. You're probably going to see higher core counts.
Hmm.
Possibly. They're going to supposedly rearrange how they do CCXs. So they could be more efficient, increase in IPC. And then, you know, if they're hitting 4.2 gigahertz now with some of the first iterations coming back from the fab, then they can do some adjustments, optimize things. And so, you know, we could see 4.4, 4.6 stuff boosted, maybe 4.2, 4.4 base.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes. But when you when you add that into increasing the IPC up to what kind of looks to be Intel levels, with their latest, what is it, Kaby Lake is their latest, Coffee Lake, I can't remember anymore.
No, I always get them all mixed up.
There's an
Lake
S at the end now.
Marmaduke, I don't know, but yeah, you're gonna see some nice little uplifts and probably improved multi-CPU performance, increased cache sizes, better TDPs, all kinds of fun things. And yeah, they can make them smaller than what Intel is going to be able to do for a while because of their mess at 10 nanometer.
So in other words, good for everybody because it'll probably force Intel to take some margin off of their
Huzzah.
CPUs to at least try to match what AMD's putting out. So good for everybody except for.
Well, they're currently tossing all the money that'll stick at 10 nanometer. So yeah, we'll see.
Yeah. Okay. Thunderbolt won't even scratch the surface.
Well, you know how like the
Hey,
best
Jeremy, this
feature
is
of-
Jeremy's thing,
It
isn't
is.
it?
It is. I was waiting for Jeremy.
Ah, Jeremy.
So the best thing about the old Surface models were that they didn't have, USB-C Thunderbolt, right?
Okay.
So for the new Surface Pro 6 and Laptop 2 and Studio 2, Microsoft stuck with their strengths and went with no USB-C or Thunderbolt on any of them.
Again?
Why?
Again,
These are current products.
I know.
What?
I don't.
This
I
makes no
don't get it.
sense.
I mean, at least the Surface Pro has the Surface Connect, so you can connect the keyboard to it. Right, but they've stuck with the exact same connectivity. So you've got USB 3, mini DP, micro SD, and if you've got one of the tablety ones that it connects to the keyboard. The battery life is better. You're looking at 14.5 on the Laptop Pro 2 and 13.5 on the Pro 2s, or the Pro 6 rather. So I mean that's a bit better. The screens have gotten brighter across the board, which was probably one of the main complaints a lot of people heard about the original Surface devices is that they just honestly weren't that bright unless you were in perfect conditions. They've stuck more or less with the same resolutions again. The screen technology hasn't changed. You're still looking at least for the Pro 6 and the Laptop 2, they've gone with an unspecified 8th gen, which could be a Kaby, it could be a Coffee. It's probably a Coffee refresh, but digging could not find a single thing about it, so hard to say. And before you give them the benefit of the doubt, the new Surface Studio 2, they stuck with 7th gen for that. They didn't even upgrade the processor.
Okay.
And that one, which is the all-in-one, comes with a GTX 1060 or 1070. So again, it's showing like sort of anything new. Now, for those that love like the Surface aesthetic, you're going to like this because it looks exactly the same. It's got, a fairly nice design to it, especially coming out of Microsoft and, I think they killed the guy that made the Zune at some point. It's kind of sad, but there you go.
Yeah, but the problem with the Surface Studio is like since you're not going to upgrade it. It's not really an upgradable device. You're stuck with whatever you get. So usually if you're going to be stuck with what you get, usually you want the newest, fastest thing and the thing you bought to try to hold off, for the longest possible time. But if you're getting the thing and it's 2 generations ago on the hardware,
just crazy talk.
It just kind of baffles me that things just going to be behind. It's behind out of the box. It's behind.
Yeah.
And you can't upgrade
and what's even more frustrating about it is the Surface Hub 2 we were talking about last week comes with the cartridge, so in theory you can upgrade the CPU. So it was sort of a thing of, oh look, Microsoft's kind of figured out, people like newer hardware.
Yeah.
But only on their giant electronic whiteboard, apparently. So, it's not horribly disappointing because it's a Surface, and they've never been cutting edge, but they're nice and they're handy to carry around. They've got great battery life. If you like the flipbook style where you can use it as a tablet or a keyboard, it's kind of lovely. But honestly, I keep looking at them and going, and this is why I've never been tempted. Even with this brand new Surface All Access Pass, they went through Dell. And so essentially what you do is you sign up for 24 monthly payments and you get your device, you get an Office 365 subscription, you get support of some description, and some benefits on the Windows Store that we all spend all day looking at.
Mm-hmm.
And they say, oh, it starts at $25. Well, yeah, but that's for the little tiny pretend tablet Surface Go thing. If you're looking at the bare minimum Surface 6, it's actually more like $48 a month. It's a good, cheap way to get yourself something that is going to be good enough. But, honestly, it's a hard sell for an enthusiast.
And it's a hard sell for like the typical enthusiast that has people contacting them, asking them what system they should get. Like, I would be hesitant to recommend these, mainly because like I have a person right now asking me about stuff and they want to be able to connect storage that goes quickly. And I would normally recommend Thunderbolt. And they also want to be able to dock it. Well, you can't really dock it. You can't pass the display out by the convenient method. Granted, Thunderbolt docks are still a little bit pricey, but
don't like them either.
Yeah. Maybe that's what Microsoft's waiting for. Like maybe they're waiting for the docks to be more practical and stuff. But in my mind, like even once they become more practical, well then now you have to upgrade the dang mobile device to be able to use the dock or use the, whatever Thunderbolt 3 thing you got.
What about Wide-Eye?
Yeah. Anyway, Tim Very pointed out that Sony is launching a miniaturized PlayStation Classic retro console with 20 preloaded games. Is the PlayStation Classic spot, and they're celebrating the 25th anniversary of the PlayStation. Man, was that 25 years ago?
It was.
Jeez.
So my first question is please tell me those are little USB ports in the front.
I don't know, actually. USB for power through an AC adapter. Oh wait, though an AC adapter is not included. But you can use any USB charger. Still have a door. Well, I mean, yeah, it would have to how are you gonna
well, it includes controllers.
Oh, okay. So I don't know if there would be USB. Maybe
that looks USB.
Maybe. Possible.
Why not?
That is tiny.
It's so cute.
Look at that. This is just so cute. Maybe they had a person with a really big hand.
Will it really open that thing up if you press the button?
No, pushing the eject button changes games.
Oh,
supposedly.
It includes Final Fantasy 7.
Final Fantasy 7.
Tekken 3. We're done here.
Yeah.
Ridge Racer 4.
I mean,
Is Parappa the Rappa on it?
And supposedly you'll be able to save your games. They'd say it's some sort of virtual thing. I guess maybe it just has Flash in it. I can just save it. Not sure. Comes with HDMI cable and a USB cable. Oh wait. Remakes of the original gamepads that lack the DualShock's dual analog sticks.
Well, so much for Ridge Racer.
Yeah, you're gonna play Ridge Racer without analog sticks?
So I wonder if you can take a more modern PlayStation controller and plug into them.
Well, it's a different kind of plug, so I don't know if.
Doesn't the PlayStation DualShock 3 and 4 have a mini USB?
Yeah, I think the newer ones, but if you have one from this era, it's obviously not going to work, right?
Yeah, I don't think it'll fit.
It definitely won't fit. It's a little bit larger than a USB plug. Anyway, what's the price supposed to be? $100. Available on December 3rd of this year. Interesting.
So much memories on here. We got people in the chat talking. Ridge Racer would be awesome. Parasite Eve.
Yeah.
That brings back memories.
What was it? Resident Evil.
Yeah. Resident
Right?
Evil was amazing.
Wasn't that was the platform, right? That was where Resident Evil
Mhm.
happened. You know, the time limited game where you're waiting on scenes to load off of a disc.
Yep.
And then you had the really, really bad pre-rendered video that was like 320 by 240 resolution and upscaled.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what? I have a confession to make.
What's that?
I've never owned a PlayStation.
Really?
Never.
Nope.
Well, my confession is that I did not buy the PlayStation until there was a mod chip available. That's because
I
I
did
had
rent them from game stores, though.
that's because I had children. I was not, I was not opposed to purchasing games. It's just that I'll be damned if I was gonna like let the kids play with the original, kind of expensive PlayStation, at least at the time, PlayStation games directly and scratch the heck out of the discs. Yeah. So the only thing that got placed into that PlayStation was backups of games. Thank you very much. Which the children destroyed often, and I had to crank out extra duplicates of often. Especially, what was it? Oddworld?
Oh,
That was
Abe's
on there.
Oddworld Odyssey.
Oddworld was on there. And then there was that like skeleton dude running around, like medieval. Oh, it's called Medieval.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That was like Legacy of Kain?
Yeah, there was some good stuff back then, man. Like that was
Soul Reaver? Or is that PS2?
that might have been PS2. Anyway.
So many good games.
Okay. Next up, we have an ad.
We do.
We do. So, we would like to thank RX Bar for supporting this episode of the PC Perspective podcast. We had a round of these.
They didn't last long.
Yeah, they didn't last long. They actually went so quickly that I didn't even get to have one. Like they were just gone. Alex had one.
I did.
He had
They were quite wonderful.
yeah.
I think I had like 2 or 3 of them actually.
I'm glad you enjoyed them. I'm glad everybody else in the office enjoyed them. But like, I think before, I think by the time we did the first ad read for them, like they were all gone.
Yeah, we were on the last one in the office when we did the first ad read,
Yeah.
and they're good. I mean,
Yeah.
they really are. I've picked them up, going through when we're traveling. I've picked them up on the road. It's simple, good food. I like them a lot.
So straight from RX Bar, they call it a protein bar made with 100% whole ingredients and no BS, no bad stuff like added sugar, artificial colors, flavors, preservatives, or fillers. So yeah, I mean, you're just making the thing out of whole stuff, like no fake stuff, no BS, as they say. 14 different flavors, and they also have seasonal flavors. Ideal for breakfast on the go or throwing in your bag, or it's kind of like the your typical bar type thing that you just kind of have on you for a snack. Except without a bunch of preservatives in it and things like that, and just things that you don't necessarily want to put in your body. And they have there is a note here, RX nut butter.
Ooh, that sounds really good.
The single serving packets that are squeezable and spreadable. Nut butter with 9 grams of high quality protein. Pairs great with fruit, rice cakes, pretzels, or straight out of the pouch. That sounds dangerous.
Yeah, but it's so good.
That sounds like someone would just mow through several of the single serving packets of that rather quickly. Anyway, if you are tempted, if you've been tempted by my words about RX Bar here, you can get 25% off your first order at rxbar.com/PCPer and use the promo code PCPer at checkout. That's rxbar.com/PCPer, promo code PCPer. And we thank RxBar for supporting the podcast. All right. What we got next? We've got
20 seconds of no profanity.
yes, there is that. Gigabyte launching M.2 PCI Express NVMe by 2 SSDs. So Gigabyte's going the quasi budget SSD route here. 128 gig, 256 gig, half a terabyte. Do they say which controller they're using? Let's see. What do the specs look like? 1.2 gig per second out of the 256 gig.
So Alan, we need a new segment here. We need a. Can Alan name that controller from a response graph?
That's got to be the same one as the
That's on
the 2 by My Digital SSD, because that's about the same speed, right?
Yeah, and I think that one's a Phison. But that seems low even for the by 2s we've seen before.
No,
to
it's
me.
not. It's about.
Is that about the
You know, well,
same?
you're the expert. You know.
No, I thought it was higher. I could be mistaken because it's been a while since I looked at that. Where I thought Alex was going to go was like, if only we had like an SSD decoder
Yeah.
that said which controller was in which SSD. Dang it, I might need to resurrect that thing.
That's a dark and long path, Alan.
Yeah, I know. But I feel like things are getting consolidated enough now to where we might actually be able to do something like that again. And, you know, anyway, do we have any prices? I don't see any prices, but I would imagine that they are probably in the, I would hope, 20 cents per gig or high tens range if they plan on selling these in the current landscape, because now you've got plenty of like BPX Pros, and which is a by 4 fire breathing SSDs. Josh, did you order one of those? You were talking about it a week or two ago.
No, because I'm cheap.
Oh. All right. Well, you're so enthused about it.
I don't need it, and well, you know, I was enthused about it. I'd love to have it, but I don't really have a need for it.
Yeah.
And 2, my child just broke his finger, so there goes that $260 for an SSD.
You're being all practical and stuff.
Ah, screw that.
Okay. Dang practical life.
Stupid adulting.
Responsible things.
Can we just
All right.
hand in our adult cards and stop doing that? Because
You just shuffle it to the bottom of the magic
I
deck.
try, but
Anyway, next up is Jeremy talking to us about the upcoming difficulties of getting Intel inside your computer.
it is true.
It is? Tell us
They
more.
make
you've
products for that.
Yes.
Is there an app for that?
AMD makes products for that as long as they take
it's true.
advantage of it.
That's true.
So you got Novatech and Compal Electronics, which are two fairly large providers for pre-built machines before you buy the machine from someone else.
Okay.
And so, I mean, it's sort of up in the air. Is this simply that there's a lot of people focused on the 10 nanometer problem as opposed to production? Is it that they're having issues with the current one? Is it that Xeons are actually selling like hotcakes right now and they've realized, well, we make a lot more money off of the server side, so yeah, consumers can go sit and spin for a little bit? There's probably a lot of reasons why it's happening, but long story short, it does seem to be happening. So you've already got Dell and other server providers saying, you know, we've got some nice EPYC products you might want to think about. They're in stock. They're not that expensive, and gosh darn it, they're damn good. So, you know, I'm really hoping Lisa Su can make, you know, a quick grab at this opportunity, because it's not going to last her forever. Intel has like more money just sitting in the back of their couch than AMD could ever dream of making. So they're going to fix the issue for now. But the thing is, if you can catch people in an upgrade cycle, just do it, push it, do whatever you can to get stuff out there so you get a bit more money so that you can start snowballing yourself back into the business.
Yeah.
You've already seen your stock price, like, what is it, triple in value over the past year?
And that's
Think they were-
and the thing you're talking about is the exact kind of thing AMD tends to be good at.
Yeah.
They have a habit of doing that lately, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, I mean,
And if they're smart, they'll look at NVIDIA and say, oh, look, people can't buy your newest video card and they can't afford the one that's actually out on market. You may got these ones. Yeah, maybe they're not quite as good, but hey, they're cheaper.
Yeah.
Get 3 of them. Have fun.
that's
So
true.
we'll see. It's going to be an interesting time to see how AMD sort of deals with what the opportunity they've got now and how long that they've got that window for.
All right, real quick on this one, because everybody that cares about this story has probably already witnessed this by way of their Facebook app telling them they need to sign back in. Facebook had some sort of a data breach. 50 million accounts were breached earlier this week. What was
So there's a feature that lets you look at your own profile as if you weren't you.
Oh, yeah. I'm familiar with that.
And this is something that people do?
Isn't it called incognito mode?
No. You do it to like, so when you go through your settings and you set what's visible and what's not visible to people,
Mhm.
right? So you don't want your birth year showing or your birth whatever, or you don't want your location showing. You can sort of confirm it by just going, just a little drop down. You change it to like, show me what other people see. Like, show me what my friends see and show me what people that aren't my friends see. And you get to just see the page and you can kind of like go down to where it would normally tell like about you, and you can make sure that the stuff you don't want showing is actually not showing, right?
And something tells me people are using this to look at themselves and say, do I look cool to my friends now?
Well, I mean, I tell you what, though, the people that figured out this breach were apparently using that feature to look at everybody else's profiles. I'm hoping that they got the thing. Well, no, because if they can see the thing that only you can see, which is one of the options, then other people could see what normally only you could see, which I guess is probably what they were doing.
Well, and if you were logged in and you do that login via Facebook thing, in theory, because they had your access tokens, they could do that.
Yeah.
Now, the funny thing is that earlier, just after this came out, it was pointed out after a couple of people tested it that as long as the person goes in, screws around, and logs out within an hour, it's never logged by Facebook. Facebook today said, well, we've got proof that nobody used this to access any third-party stuff. Like, okay, one of these is incorrect. And I'm going to bet on which one that I think is incorrect.
Yeah. Interesting.
All knowing, all seeing.
Yep. Well, moral of the story, don't put your info on something that you don't want somebody else getting it at some point, even if they're not supposed to.
Months.
I put
Not
on
on Facebook.
my
I've never been
personal.
on Facebook. Sorry, Josh.
I put on my personal 1-900 number on Facebook.
Oh, sweet. 1-900 Josh Tech.
I mean, it was a
1-900-976.
smart move to move off of late night TV.
Josh, this is
No one
not
watches late
this is
TV
not a
anymore.
this is not a 3 a.m. TV commercial between Tales from the Crypt and Elvira.
Yeah.
Okay,
Come on, Tales from the Crypt was great.
I know it was. I wish it
I
was
don't
still
Elvira,
know
on.
not
anyone
so
after
much.
Elvira.
Tales from the Crypt.
Do you
was
remember Commander
badass.
USA? Commander USA's Groovy Movies.
I don't remember that. No, I don't remember
It
that.
was great. It's fantastic. Look it up someday.
Well, thank you.
You're welcome.
Didn't the Elvira thing start in Florida or something?
What?
I don't remember, or not Elvira. No, there's the what was the mistress? There was some.
Elvira, Mistress of the Dark.
Yeah.
It might have been different. There was some Tales from the Crypt style show.
There were so many knockoffs.
Yeah, there was. Yeah, it was a knockoff.
Yes,
I
low
forget.
budget Tales from
It
the
was
Crypt.
very low budget. Yeah, maybe it was Elvira.
Was it the one where you saw the scene of the farm scene, and then they did a chroma thing with creepy music in the
Yeah.
background?
Yeah, I think so.
And I can't remember what the name of that, but it was another Twilight Zone Tales from the Crypt, where nothing
Wasn't everyone
good
nuts?
ever happened at the end, and it was Dark Mirror before
Yep.
Dark Mirror. Yeah.
Okay. Let's see what we got next here. Walks like a laptop but folds in your hand.
YOGA yoga.
Oh, I get it. I should have sung that line. Sorry.
Somebody. Jeez. This one has 2 Thunderbolt ports.
Oh, like actual Thunderbolt ports?
Yeah.
Really? How amazing to the thought of putting Thunderbolt on a device that you're trying to sell in 2018, since Thunderbolt's been out for like a couple of years.
Thunderbolt 3 came out last year?
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway,
But the thing is that this is heresy.
it's heresy?
That this is an abomination that should not exist.
Why?
It's a silver ThinkPad.
Well, they've been making them in black and silver for a while.
It's still not right.
Oh, I agree with you.
Because
I don't.
you've done it before doesn't make it right.
Yeah, they're doing it to appease people that don't like black. There's apparently enough
Yeah.
of a market of people that don't like a black laptop that, you know, people that like to buy white Samsung monitors and things like that.
Okay, I've got to interrupt real quick.
Hmm.
Tales from the Dark Side.
Tales from the Dark Side.
There you go.
That's what it was.
That was.
Yep.
Sorry. Had to throw that in because
it needed to be solved.
you know, it's the horror of the yoga form factor. It was a segue.
Oh man.
That was a beautiful segue.
Different horror
Yes.
show.
Yeah, but
It
that-
is a different one.
That whole yoga
With
thing.
the same kind of chroma.
Oh. That whole yoga thing has been pretty good success for Lenovo. Big
Well,
time.
in a way, it's a diametric opposite of the surfaces we've been seeing because this puppy, when the Inquirer tested anyways, going full out, like 4.5 hours battery life, which is decent for, what it is.
Yeah.
Because it's not desperately trying to slow everything down to preserve that last drop of power. And, 2560 by 1440 resolution, brightness up to 500 nits. It's, and this is one that's new on me, and I haven't really seen much about it, and I decided I didn't care. Dolby Vision HDR.
Mhm.
That doesn't sound like real HDR to me.
I mean, it's just it works. They're supposedly really good screens. So good, in fact, that I know you mentioned OLED a couple times in this news thing. They had OLED available as an option for a couple of generations, and it's not available anymore. So they've replaced that with the HDR option. So it's apparently good enough that it can displace the OLED, which was already pretty impressive. I just hope that they don't fall into the same issue with, like, when you try to do either this HDR style screen or even the OLED screen, you run into, like, the screen has a wider color range, wider gamut, whatever you want to call it, than, like, it natively has much better range, especially in the case of the OLED. And you actually have to, like, dial it back if you wanted to do things like photo editing, and, like, if you wanted a standard color space, you actually have to, like, make it normal again instead of the reds, like, searing your retinas, right? And for the longest time, I bought the second gen OLED, and that thing went a year where the Intel, like, GPU driver had broken their implementation, whatever their little add-on software was, for you to control the color space. So you were just stuck with native, which, don't get me wrong, it's nice, vivid screen, like everything pops and it looks amazing, but then you try to edit photos on it and you can't, because, like, if you try to make them look normal, then you turn around and look at them on any other display, they look just crappy because you were trying to dial things back, right? So yeah, it went like a whole year with, like, pages and pages on their forum of people, complaining about, like, hey, I can't control the color thing. Are you going to fix it? And it was this big, like, he said, she said contest where Intel was pointing the finger at Lenovo, Lenovo was pointing the finger at Intel, like, everybody was giving each other the finger. And, finally, I think like a month ago, they sorted it out because one of the updates fixed it. But It was so bad that even if you did a clean install and installed everything fresh, it would still break it. And like you couldn't even find the older version of the Intel driver on their site anywhere because like
Oh, they were good at that.
yeah, there's like no mechanism to get the older ones. There you have supposed to use the Lenovo software. It only pulls down the most recent. There's really no way to get to the old one. Yeah,
Why
so
would
were
you
just
ever want to
you
run old
normally-
software?
Normally, 99 times out of 100, you don't need to go back. But when everything breaks something and there's just no way around it, yeah, it kind of sucks. So I hope they don't fall into that whole trap with these other displays and this HDR stuff. They really need to support that better.
You mean the whole trap of talking about something ad nauseum and it's already 9:15 because we've been going on for an hour and 15 minutes?
Well, it's not 9:15 here.
Well, it's 11:15 there.
Yeah. All right. Next. Ampere. Start shipping ARM-based 16 and 32-core eMAG processors for the data center.
Nice. It's a server. Ugh. It's a server chip on TSMC 16 nanometer. It's a custom core apparently. Runs at base 3 gigahertz, goes up to 3.3 gigahertz boost. That's pretty impressive. We don't have a whole lot of other details about this. We only know it's a 64-bit ARM v8A product. But we have, they gave us some information about caches. I mean, it's got plenty of, L2 and 32 megs L3 cache, which is plenty. Support up to 16 DIMMs, which is nice. But I think one of the other things that really pops out is 42 lanes of PCIe 3.0, which is pretty good. These things are 125 watt TDPs, which, considering 16 or 32 cores, even though they're ARM, is still pretty nice, especially with all the other stuff involved.
Yeah.
So I don't know if it's a real big chip. I mean, it's not going to be small, obviously. But 125 watts is pretty good. And if they can keep at the 3 gigahertz and boost up to 3.3 now and then, it's going to be a nice performing little unit for where they're looking at it. So
yeah, and it's supposed
that's
to match. It's supposed to match like equivalent Xeons, as long as you're sticking with the simpler instructions, since ARM.
Probably. I mean, it's still ARM. I mean, it's how much server software is really optimized for ARM infrastructure? Not a whole lot. I mean, it's there, but
Well, your standard kit for the Linux stack is already ported over pretty well.
Yeah.
I mean, for server side stuff, it's.
But I'm talking about applications as well.
Oh,
Well-
sure. But if you're trying to do like a storage server or something, you need a lot of PCI Express lanes. Well, it's got them, right?
Yeah,
It does.
And if you're able to only spend like $900 for the part, as opposed to the equivalent Xeon Gold, which is like probably a few K,
Yeah.
that starts making people think about it.
Yeah, so it's an interesting looking product, and 32 threads is still nothing to sneeze at, especially at $850.
Yeah,
because what's the AMD Threadripper 32 core? It's still what, $899?
Plus or minus, yeah.
Yeah.
So it's not a bad thing, especially if it's kind of rated for server applications. And nobody's actually done any benchmarks on this. I think one of the areas that they could potentially fall down is kind of the fabric.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they've talked a little bit about it, but they don't talk, and that's as we know from AMD's CCX to CCX communication. That's a bottleneck. And, Intel has a big network type switching architecture for their larger core counts, and then that takes up a significant chunk of power. So it's going to be interesting to see how these guys handle that.
Yep.
Well, one thing on here that's kind of stands out for me is this thing has 8 memory controllers on it.
Yeah, to talk to all that RAM.
Yeah, that's on a chip.
That's a lot of nuts.
Yeah, especially for an $850
Tiny,
chip.
tiny nuts.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's granted, it's going to have its specific things that it's really well suited for. It's not going to be a jack of all trades. But yeah, you need a lot of RAM hooked up, a lot of storage capability.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting because there's a lot of subtlety in designing a good server chip that is this wide and can handle that much memory. So there could be a lot of contention. There could be a lot of fabric contention that will slow down performance, though it all depends on how they actually implemented it. But $850 that's kind of impressive.
Indeed. All right. Next up, Xilinx unveils Versal family of adaptive compute acceleration platform devices, abbreviated ACAP. So this, I believe, maybe is the thing that Ken is coming back from. Is that like what he was checking out? I guess.
It might be part of what
part of it.
he was checking out.
Xilinx Developer Forum. Their CEO announced a new product family named Versal. So this is a thing. It's FPGAs. Wait a minute. Yeah, these are FPGAs. Okay. What are they supposed to do here? Accelerate things, which, yeah, FPGAs accelerate things.
And they're RGB.
No, it's just the picture, Jeremy. But it being built on TSMC 7 nanometer.
Yeah, I did a quick read over this. It looks like this is introducing higher level programming components to.
Okay, so like, sort of like different blocks of things you can kind of like use.
That's what it looks like.
Like not just a straight out dumb FPGA, but like, maybe the ability to make it a little bit more like an actual CPU in some ways. To accelerate certain things, right? Sounds kind of like what they're trying to do.
Yeah,
Heterogeneous acceleration.
We might want to retouch on this when we can get it straight from Ken's mouth.
Yeah. Oh, dual core. Interesting. Adaptable hardware engines. Intelligent engines. Yeah, it looks like there's a bunch of different, blocks of stuff that you can. The way FPGAs work generally is sort of like plug and play-ish, kind of like wiring, except you're programming the wiring. But I'm thinking of it kind of old school. I'd imagine it's come a long ways. Anyway, yeah, we'll probably touch on this again next week and let Ken run with it when he's actually here.
I'm not touching that with the 10-foot pole.
Yep.
It's too much going on.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But the short version is, FPGA can be way faster at doing specific things. It's sort of like an ASIC, right? Except
it's
reprogrammable. Yeah. Yeah.
It's in the name.
Well, yes. It's in the field. You can program it in the field.
And there's a grid.
Amazing. It's amazing what software can do.
It's a grid. It's an array that looks like a grid. You can program in the field. All right.
What should we call that?
I don't know. But I bet that guy's going to make a lot of money that figures out that name. Also, from Ken, ARM announced free Cortex-M processor design use for Xilinx FPGAs. Oh, so this is another tie-in. Okay, so
the Cortex-M stuff has been free for certain products for anybody who wants to develop something. But it comes with pretty much no strings attached. You're not going to get any support, whatever. So a student wants to develop a really basic processor, they can like take the Cortex-M. If some group wants to do some really basic controller in certain areas, they can get it for free.
Okay.
But it looks like that they are kind of advancing this to, and it's only like what, No, it's just to gain access to the Cortex M1, optimized version of Cortex M0. So anything above that and the M0, I think, is not royalty free or kind of free for that. So it's interesting what ARM is doing to get their technology out there.
Mhm.
But there's enough strings attached that probably not every company is going to be able to utilize these free designs. But again, support, access to other technologies that ARM has available to paying partners. These things are just not bundled in, so it's not an easy thing to do. It's not like just flapping it in there and everything works. It's different.
It is.
It's harder, longer.
Okay. Moving right along. Utter lack of availability of an impending deadline may see Windows 10 match its predecessor this year. Jeremy, what the heck are you talking about?
Well, I mean, it's been a couple of years since you could buy a system with Windows 7 installed on it.
Oh, well, yeah,
It's
yeah.
been a while since you've been able to buy a Windows 7 install disk.
Uh-huh.
And, well, Windows 10, according to net market share, which is, a pretty impartial and decent way of monitoring it because they're just monitoring systems hitting the web, says that 37.44% of machines are actually on Windows 10.
That's lower
It's
than I was expecting.
40.88 on Windows 7. Now, of course, Microsoft sort of claimed that they'd be 50% adoption, within a year. Didn't quite work that way.
Yeah, apparently not.
Sometimes we don't want to eat the pablum.
Mhm.
But, it's slowly happening. And the funniest thing that I really got out of this is when you look globally, because this is specifically laptops and PCs, but when you look globally at all machines hitting the internet, 40% of them are running some type of Android.
Interesting.
Now, none of them are running the same version of Android, of course, because it is one of the most scattered types of operating systems out there. But that's just a huge bloody market share. 40% of everything is on Android.
I'm
And,
glad.
pretty soon, 40% of the computers will be running Windows 10.
I'm glad Windows Defender did not find any threats on this machine. Let's see fewer notifications. Oh, great. So it's going to send me over here.
Well, yeah, you have to look at the thing to turn it off.
How about no? Oh,
Oh, now it's going to pop up and tell you you're unprotected.
it did, and that of course didn't go to the. We didn't want the stream to see the the silly WPA dialogue. Okay, well, hopefully that will leave us alone now. Go back to seeing our child not happy about eating its food.
That's a very pertinent picture.
It is. It is. Eat your greens. Anyway. Okay, next up, Scott Michaud whipped up a news post on Microsoft releasing the Windows 10 October 2018 update. Is that what you were talking about, Josh or Jeremy?
Yeah, I got the update yesterday on my work machine. It was very exciting.
We
Not
have figured
much
out how
has
to block
changed
it at work.
other than bug fixes.
Well, and this is the
Oh, there is a new snip and frame tool
oh. Well, this is the
that
RTX
replaces
feature, right?
snipping tool.
This is what you need as a precursor for RTX
But-
features.
I like snipping tool.
Oh, well, I think
You
the old. I think,
Bastards!
hold on,
You
hold on.
killed Snippy.
Wait. No, I think the old one's still there.
It is still there, but they
Uh,
just recommend
course
that
it
you
is.
try the new one
Yeah.
because
yeah.
it's new and improved.
Because it would be a shame if you were to continue using the old one.
But they just
It would
upgraded
be.
an old one so that you can put it on a time delay, which was freaking handy.
Yeah. And stuff like this is why I use my own app to do like captures. I just, can't rely on.
And don't forget, it updated dark mode.
Okay. For within Windows.
Isn't that a really bad Liam Neeson movie?
Yes, it is.
Okay.
So bad, I might have to see if I can find it again.
In other news, Good Old Games celebrated 10 years by putting out a free game for everybody. Let's see. Oh, it's going to be a free game decided by a public vote.
You got like 11 hours left to vote.
All right, Shadow Warrior 2, Super Hot, or Firewatch?
I voted Firewatch.
I voted Firewatch.
Whoa, is Firewatch good?
Supposedly.
Like-
I would hope it is if they voted for it.
All right. Well, whatever
You
that.
like wander around in gorgeous outdoors. I forget where it is, Montana.
do you
or
watch
somewhere.
fire?
It's like Yellowstone, Montana. Yeah.
And you're supposed to be watching for fires, and like it's sort of a story, and it's like it sounds wonderful. I doubt I'd ever pay for it, so
Oh.
I'm voting for it. Getting it for
So
free.
you wander around in a forest and you look for fire.
No,
Weird.
no. There's a murder that happens, and you're investigating things.
Oh.
I think
Oh,
And you talk on a walkie-talkie to a
exactly
person
to a.
helping. Yeah. So
Kinda
apparently
like,
it's got a wonderful
System
story, and
Shock.
it's utterly gorgeous.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if it looks cool.
Yeah.
All right. So keep an eye out for that. And then I imagine, like, I don't know, do you have to like have a login on the site?
You gotta have a GOG account.
Okay, so everybody right now, make your GOG account. I'd imagine you have to have the account before October 4th?
Yeah, but
Probably.
it's easy to make one.
Or do you not
I mean,
get
how
this?
else are you going to vote for it after?
Well, I mean, do you have to vote for it to get it? Or do
Yes.
you? Okay, so you have to vote. Oh. So everybody listening to this live, and if you downloaded the podcast early, yeah, go vote.
Yeah, apparently it is in Wyoming, oddly enough.
Interesting. Do you run around and watch for fires?
No,
Yes.
but strange women on phones call me quite often complaining about murders.
Oh, they ask you for your papers, if you have your papers.
Sure.
I see.
Yeah.
That's a different game.
Yeah, I know.
Good segue. Cooler Master. Go.
All right. Been a long time coming. Cooler Masters C700M. That's a pretty snazzy looking case. Wait a minute. The GPU's on an angle.
Yep.
You're
Because
very
you know
observant.
why?
Why?
The angle of the dangle is in direct proportion to the heat of the beat.
I see. In motion of the ocean?
I have no idea, but I don't know why it's like that.
Mm.
It's Cooler Master.
I mean, it's
There's a doohickey
it looks good.
that allows you
I mean,
to
it's
mount.
got to have a cable in there to be able to connect.
Yeah, sure. And so
How
it's just a ribbon.
exactly are you going to get your video card cable that way? I
It's a
don't
ribbon.
understand.
They flex.
No,
You
I'm
are
talking about like your
correct,
monitor
sir.
cable.
Oh, yeah, that's a
Probably
good
another
question.
flex cable.
Eh,
With a 90 on it.
No, I think that when you put on an angle.
Hmm.
Well, it
Because
looks,
if you click through, there is a very large space
Okay.
for this
So you can
GPU to be sitting.
so you can snake it through the one of the slots that you leave.
Well, no, it's not even that. It's built for it.
Jesus, 14
'Cause-
pages. I gotta find the page with the picture we're looking for.
Yeah,
Right.
it's so the thing is that you're not looking at it to scale.
Right.
In what did I just do?
I'm just
I
try- I'm
closed
trying to
my
even get-
damn window.
I'm trying to even get to the.
So this is like a perfect Threadripper case. The bloody thing is over 2 foot high and 2 foot long and a foot deep.
that's
Hold on.
insane.
Wait, stop.
Uh,
Scroll up. Scroll up. Scroll up. Scroll up. No,
What?
stop.
Scroll up.
Scroll up.
Yeah.
There you go.
There you
There's
go.
the.
Right. I
I
see.
guess that's where you clamp it in, and it. Look, you got about a what, half inch
Well, that's
in
where it
between the
arrives.
back and.
So these look like it's a pivot, so you can put it on that whatever angle you want. I would imagine.
And you mount it to whichever slots you want. It doesn't have to be at the very bottom. Obviously, that's just how they ship it.
Let's go to like the last build page.
You take a look in one of some of the builds. They sort of show.
Okay, so there's the GPU. There's the GPU.
I want to see the cables.
I'm-
Damn it!
I agree with you. I'm trying.
Wait, go up, up,
Yeah.
up. There's
See,
the
no,
back.
now-
it's not
Yeah,
plugged in.
that's crap. It's all crap.
Why
Hero
would you
3D, you suck.
Why
It's
would you
crap.
not plug in the video
got
out?
pass-throughs.
No, they're doing the thing where you can use it on a FreeSync monitor and you're using the onboard video, right?
Was it a
Yeah,
wide-eye?
probably.
Yes. No, it's got adapters, like Josh says. It's got cables which let you do this
Okay.
and not completely screw up your system.
I'm gonna give up looking.
But the thing is ridiculous. So As long as you remove the optical display, because there is one hidden in there, you can fit simultaneously a pair of 420 millimeter rads, a 120 millimeter, and a 240 mil. Simultaneously.
That's a lot.
If you prefer going the air cooling, up to 9 120 or 140 millimeter fans.
Check out these.
Or a mix of
check out
those.
these RGBs on the bottom.
Yeah.
It's got the ground
because
effects
it's
going on.
reversible. If you like your case to be upside down, you can flip it upside down.
What?
Just
Really?
because. It's so like over engineered. It's kind of amusing, and as one commenter sort of cut the legs out from underneath it, said, "Finally, a system case that looks like a household item. It actually is a room heater."
Yeah.
'Cause, well, but like, it's a perfect Threadripper build for if you want to be silent. Like, you can fit a 200 millimeter cooler in the freaking thing. Like,
Mhm.
technically 198. Don't quibble over 2 millimeters. It's just like, it's monstrous.
That's pretty crazy.
I forget what it was. It's upwards of like 40 friggin' pounds. So it looks sort of slim and svelte. It is not. If you were
40 pounds
more,
before you
probably-
put the stuff in it?
something like that.
That's
Like, if you're more, you could fit 2 full systems in this bloody thing.
Isn't that like 2-person lift?
Well, more or less.
Like
They
OSHA
commented it takes about
requirements?
2 people to get it out.
Well, yeah. Right, Josh?
Nudge,
I
nudge, wink,
plead
wink.
the fifth.
He missed his joke opportunity. Takes 2 people to
but
get it out.
No, I'm like,
Anyway.
Yeah, so, I
Okay.
mean, and the good news is that it's only going to be $400 or $500. So
Oh, only.
only.
Okay.
if you're really into cases, go for it. Otherwise, just bask in its immense glory.
Well, Jeremy, tell me about bone conduction headphones so we can put a bow on this thing.
They're spooky, kids.
No, that was bad.
Yeah.
Count
Well, that was
Floyd.
Joe Flaherty.
Worth it.
And worth it, yes.
The only reason I actually put this up on the front page was just because I read that, and well, it's October, so Count Floyd goes up.
He
Okay.
does.
Okay.
I mean, bone conduction is not a new thing. Anyone who had a flip phone used bone conduction to talk. These ones are headphones, so you put them on and they clip just around your ear. The idea being that you can still hear your audio and what's going on all around you because it's not actually interfering with the ear canal.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to hear them better, you actually get earplugs and plug them in, and it blocks out the exterior sound for a lot cheaper than sound blocking headphones. So overall, they're not super amazing unless you're the type that likes to be able to hear what's going on around you. In which case, they're not that expensive, and give it a shot. And if you don't know who Joe Flaherty is or SCTV, well, look it up.
Okay. All right. Let's do the hardware software picks of the week. Let me open up some links here.
Yeah, seeing as someone stole mine.
Somebody stole yours.
Ken.
How did? Oh.
Didn't realize you mentioned the free ARM processors.
Oh. Well. Okay. And Jeremy's pick was the whole free ARM cores for Xilinx.
That's okay. I got something else here.
Oh, he's gonna switch it to something else.
Well, I don't have a choice anymore, do I?
Yeah. You gotta switch is cheap Canadian
Raisin.
Just bring that up because that's freaking hilarious.
Cheap Canadian raisin. Okay. Whoa. Motherboard.
Ooh.
For
For $90
after you get your rebate
Canadian,
back,
that's-
$65.
That's
Wow.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, after a rebate.
So you get
$65.
M.2, you get
Rebate.
USB-C. It's if you're looking at a low-cost system, and so you're looking at Ryzen 2000, and you're looking at the price of DDR4, and you're going, okay, well, I need to save up something for that, and want to get the best video card I can, and there's this giant gaping hole in the market between $200 and $300. going to need to shave down on my motherboard, but at the same time, I don't want something with nothing.
Yep.
So, hey, 65 bucks and, change your credit card pin afterwards because, oops, although that's fixed.
We hope.
We hope. It's fixed for now.
65 bucks is almost nothing. And you get a decent board out of it. And there's still going to be some older fans that are like, yeah, AIS ROG sucks. Like, no, honestly, they've been putting out solid product for a couple of years now.
Yeah, I think they're a safe bet now. They've been okay. They did have some doozies.
Oh, they did when they first came out.
Yeah, but I think they've finally caught up.
Yeah. These are the same people that are bitching about AMD drivers.
Okay, Josh.
Me.
Yep.
Probably one of my more favorite movies of all time.
That's a good movie.
It's on 4K, Blu-ray. Do it. Apollo 13. Bill
Yeah.
Paxton. He died last year,
Mm,
so you gotta appreciate his moments
yeah.
in the film.
He was good in that movie.
You can eat the ass end out of a rhino.
Yep.
Yep.
Yep. So
It'll sound better on Laserdisc, though.
it's on physical media. 4K.
Mhm.
You gotta have a
Mhm.
4K player, but you know what? Nobody can take this away from you unless they break into your house or burn your house down, or your children decides to scratch it.
Or update your Blu-ray player with invalid keys.
Yeah, that might work as well. But anyway, yeah, $14. No, $13.
Yeah.
Apollo 13 for $13. There
Hey.
you go.
Yeah, like it's intentional.
Great film.
All right. My pick is the pick I was trying to figure out last week, and I was playing with this with some buddies the other day. Shell Shock Live is the name of the game. Now I can't remember the name of the game that it was like back in the day. It was some tank.
Scorched Earth.
Scorched Earth. There you
Auger.
go. No, Scorched Earth back in the day. But this is like, like really, really good Scorched Earth with all sorts of cool different weapons and stuff. Scorched Earth was kind of, you only had like a very limited set of weapons you could use.
So there it
Oh, it's
was
got
back in 1992 with my 386 SX16, and we had a game that was about
Look
as
at all
colorful.
the weapons. Look at the weapons. That was look at that. Look at the
Yeah, we didn't have weapons like that. It was all
Look at
artillery.
that.
So there was
No, there was
there
the
was like three
burrower.
different weapons, but not like that.
Yeah.
Anyway,
That's some weapons. And there's the multiplayer with insane amounts of people. I didn't even know you could do 8-way multiplayer.
I'm not going to really like these guys unless their DLC upgrade is called PTSD.
anyway,
Anyway, looks cool. I played it for a while. It was definitely fun. Looks like it's kind of a bit of a grind if you wanted to try to just if you're like got to catch them all and you just want to like get every single like weapon and stuff. You're gonna be at that for a while. So I would say try not to do that and just like enjoy the game with some buddies that don't necessarily have their accounts like as upgraded as you. I think it tries to balance it out regardless. So you don't get someone with just like all the things, just annihilating people. Making it unfair. Anyway, let's see. Is that it? Is that the show?
I think that's the show.
That's the show.
that's it.
PCPro.com/podcast if you want to see the show notes and see Jeremy's cheap Canadian Ryzen in the show notes. Anyway.
Ryzen
No.
Batman.
Ma.
Yep. Twitter.com/PCPer is the Twitter. The site's PCPer.com. And that's it for the podcast. So with that, I wish all of you a good day or good night or whenever you're listening to this. See you next week. And that's the end of it.
And out.
Yep. Before midnight.
And before midnight.
I have to go bathroom.
You gotta go potty?
Gotta go potty. So I'll see you guys. Sorry, don't feel like after show.
John's got to go to the bathroom.
Peace.
So he'll see us next week.
All right.
That's a lot of
See you
kids
on
at
the other
pool.
side of the yellow stream.
Folks, this is what happens when you're over 40.
It's true.
Well,
Which is why I'm going to visit a different bathroom.
we're
All right,
old.
good night, guys.
See ya.
Good guy.
Later. Yep.
Are we off?
No, we're still on.
Oh, we're still on?
Yeah, we're still on.
We still like you.
Yeah. Fuck those other guys though.
Yeah. Yeah, those other guys. Yeah. They're just white Skype screens now.
They have ceased to be. So what's been going on with blockchain lately, anyway? Because I haven't been paying attention to it.
Not really anything.
Like
okay,
I
what's
know
the-
that with the 20 series, it kind of tanked, didn't it? Or is that
It's not that it tanked. I mean, you would. I mean, so Bitcoin's like 6,500, and like mining is so.
that's
Mining, generally speaking, if you're paying like if your average power cost, you're barely making a profit. If you have 10 series cards,
Mhm.
that's the gist of kind of like where it's at. So if you live next to some hydroelectric thing and your power's super cheap, then yeah, I mean you're making something, but you know, you're talking like months and months and months for ROI on anything. So
Yeah.
you can probably shave. Well, I don't know if we have like miners optimized for the 20 series stuff yet, but if it scales,
would it even? I mean,
well, I don't know, but if
like-
it scales the way you would suspect that it would scale, probably, then okay, you know, you'd get like another 20 or 30% for the same amount of power.
for twice the cost.
For potentially a lot more money that you're spending, so the ROI is going to get pushed out even further than that. So if you're trying to, you know, it just seems kind of silly. But at the same time, I haven't seen people fire sailing a bunch of GPUs.
I like you said before, the used market is still holding pretty strong.
Yeah, like if people just started unloading like 1080 Ti's and stuff like from like big mining operations, they would just, you know, it would make the price tank.
Mhm.
Because there's a lot of them out there. There's a lot of GPUs out there from a bunch of mining operations that I haven't really seen the market get flooded with. So I'm not sure what the deal is. Maybe all the really big guys were already in places that the power was cheaper. You'd figure that would make sense if you were going to
Well,
make a huge mining operation. So those guys are still profitable, like reasonably profitable, at least enough so that it doesn't make sense for them to start selling stuff off.
and a lot of people have moved on to ASICs for a lot of stuff, haven't they?
Yeah, but even the ASICs it's the same kind of deal right now, where
Yeah,
the power,
those are money.
those are
aren't
money, but you have to have cheap power still for those, especially because a lot of the ASICs are like just power hungry.
they? Oh, there's stupid amounts of power in them.
Yeah, well, some of them are kind of efficient, but
Like I was working with a coworker of mine, and we were talking about it because he was looking to move from racks of 1070s, 1080s to ASICs. He's like, I can't bring the power in.
Yeah.
Like he's looking at 3-phase.
Yeah.
For like a single rack.
mm-hmm.
He's like, yeah, we're looking at buying 90s ASICs, and each one of them bring in like a, what did he say? It was like stupid amount of
Yeah,
amperage.
I mean, when they're like, you know, when you're pushing like 1.5 kilowatts a piece
mm-hmm.
for ASIC miners,
That's
Yeah.
that's some power.
they're power hungry. But yeah, I mean, so the Bitcoin ASIC miners, like that, I don't know, their usual cost was like $3,500 or something ish, right? They're going for like $700-800 now.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
That
because
was
it's
the-
just, you know, it's just, again, you have to have super cheap power. And even if you do, you're barely making, you know, so they're just not worth it.
Well.
Or they usually will, the price will generally fall to like, you know, I want to say like maybe 3/4 of a year ROI. So like whatever it's making, if you spread that out over, you know, over like 6 months, 9 months, something like that.
Mhm.
Right. GPUs for a while were tracking, like GPU prices for like the longest time were tracking somewhere around like a 200-day ROI or so. Like you could literally you could gauge it exactly by the mining performance of that GPU. Whatever the GPU was, if you figured out how much it made per day and you spread out over, if you were assuming like 10 cents per kilowatt hour, which is like national average or whatever.
Right.
But like if you spread that out over 200 days, you would get like the going rate for whatever that GPU was on like eBay or wherever.
Yep. Well, I mean, when you're running stuff at scale, you have to run the long game.
Yeah, it just naturally, like, the market immediately just settled itself to that, because anywhere that there was an advantage, all the miners would just, buy that thing out, and it would just drive the prices up, even retail. So there really wasn't any good deal, so to speak. You were basically buying a exactly proportional per dollar, performance per dollar. So.
And you just wait for the market to giveth and taketh.
Yeah. I'm surprised it hasn't, like, things haven't come down more, but it's partially because of this whole 2080 pricing, and it's also partially because of the tariffs coming up, I think.
Yeah, that's its own different thing.
That could very well drive up prices of the 10 series cards on the aftermarket.
Yep.
You go adding like another 10% to, that's like another $50 for, like, assuming that the aftermarket follows for 10 series. Like, a 1080 Ti that was going for $500 now might be going for $550.
Yep.
Just based on everything else getting driven up.
Well, I mean, the tariffs thing before the podcast, we were saying, I pulled the trigger on a new build. My aging 2600K, which still works fine and still runs reliable as hell.
Yep.
It's like I've been eyeing a new piece of kit for a long time, and it's like, all right, we do it now, or it's gonna wait 3 years more.
Right.
So, here.
I mean,
take my money.
There's still, like, nothing wrong with 10 series cards, man. Like,
nope.
Yeah, it's not the shiny new thing with all the RTX ray traces.
Don't care. Still happy with it.
But yeah, I mean, as long as you don't need that, then just.
Well, it's just sort of the snowball. Here we're gonna get this 1080, and then we're gonna
then you. Now we got to upgrade this other thing because now it's the bottleneck.
Yeah, it's like, oh man, now I need to upgrade my storage.
Yeah,
oh man.
Yeah, because I want to install more games, and now we're out of space. And
it's like, you go in for a couple $100. Next thing you know, you're $3,000 out of pocket. Like, what the hell just happened?
Yeah, that has a habit of happening.
But RAM prices were insane. Like, what did I get? DDR4 3200.
Insanely high.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're still high. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Because I was looking, I was like, oh well, I might push this thing a little bit. Let's see what we can get from some nice, lower CAS parts.
Mm-hmm.
$600 for 32 gigs.
Really?
$6 bills. Drop it down to a CAS 16, and you can get the ones we use, the LPX memory. It was like $300 for DDR 3200 CAS 16. It's like,
I got some RAM I need to sell then.
That CAS 14 sounds really nice, but it's not $300 more nice.
That's ridiculous.
But you look at the benchmarks, it's like a 6% difference. Like, who cares? Just crank the speed up and let the latency ride out.
I mean, you probably almost make that up in an overclock.
Easily.
Yeah.
I mean, what's the 8700 for clocked anyway? It's designed for 2400 or something.
You gotta realize in a lot of cases it's just binning.
Yeah.
So you could potentially just, take the lesser stuff and just set it to the timings of the faster stuff and probably get away with it.
Well,
as long as
we talked about this 2 weeks ago, I think it was. The Gamers Nexus article where he was looking at what matters more, latency or raw clock speed.
Yeah.
And latency matters, but clock speed's king. If you can crank up the base clock and loosen your timings of a fuzz, it's probably worth it unless you're doing something that requires extremely low latency. So, I don't know. I ordered everything yesterday. All the parts going to get here Friday, except for the processor, which was expected to get here in like 2 weeks. And I got the announcement today that it's going to show up Saturday. So seems the pipelines are still got a little bit of product in them,
Yeah.
but I don't know. That's just the 8700. I don't know what the lower end stuff is. Pay your money, take your chances.
Yeah, exactly. Any other questions in the chat before we call it?
Talking about ROI. Selling video cards for more than you bought them for, which is always a great deal.
You could, back if you bought them before the mining spike.
Yep.
Even if you had one that you bought at the normal MSRP and you go to sell it now, like they're still going for, you know, I mean, you lost probably 20% or something, maybe 30% over the non-jacked up MSRP.
Mm-hmm.
That's not bad for something that you held on to for potentially like almost 2 years.
Yep. I've never been able to hold anything for more than 2 years and actually make my money back on it. Just
Yeah.
nope. Sorry.
Well, there were lots of people that had just bought GPUs and they're like, screw this, I'll go back. Like throwing their old GPU in because they could sell like, you know, at one point, like 1080s and 1080 Ti's were like pushing $1,000.
Yep.
That was crazy. It's like, you mean I can just make, like, of course the price is eventually going to come back down if you can just hold it off for like 6 months. Yeah, there were some smart people that did that.
Well, I mean, liquid assets.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dark 24 in the channel was saying he got a DDR4 3000 CAS 15 for $200, March of 2017.
Not anymore.
That'd be nice.
Not right now.
I was like, when I initially went into it, I was like, I wonder if I can get a 64 gig. Nope. Nope.
Mm-hmm.
That would be nice, but nope.
All right.
Yep. I got nothing. That's got nothing.
I got none.
Call it.
I guess we'll wrap it up. Okay. Well, take it easy, guys. We'll see you next week.
Goodbye.
Rock.